Hey friend, welcome back to Living in His Purpose. So I've got something that I think is pretty fascinating for us to talk about today. Now, I realize this might sound a little random, and when you go back and look at like all the topics that I talk about, you think, what is this chick talking about anyway? And I am a Christian first and foremost, but I'm also a nurse, and I'm also a 52-year-old lady who's on this journey trying to figure out how to make myself healthy, how to start taking care of myself inside and out. And the things that I bump up against, I'm like, oh, I should probably share this. So that's why we're going random. This topic is going to sound random at first, but I want you to stick with me because we're going to talk about something that could explain a lot of your aches and your tension and even emotional heaviness that you might be carrying, and you don't even know why. Okay, it's called fascia. And I'll be honest, for the longest time, I didn't really give it much thought either. I did med-surg nursing for a lot of years, and I've taken care of a lot of people who have, after some type of surgery, had to have their wound left open to heal from the bottom up. And I've seen fascia up close, and I never really put much stock into it, what it was or what it did throughout our bodies until recently. But I can't feel too bad about that because I don't think a lot of scientists and doctors have either. But once I learned what it does and how deeply it's connected to not just our physical health, but also our emotional, it completely changed the way that I think about pain, posture, stress, and even how God wired us. So today's episode is all about this hidden connective tissue, what it is, what it does, and how taking care of it might actually be one of the most powerful things that you can do for your body and your peace of mind. So let's dig in. So what exactly is fascia? Okay, imagine with me, if you will. Imagine, if you will, underneath your skin, running through your entire body from your head to your toe, inside and out, is this stretchy, fibrous web. It wraps around every muscle, every bone, every organ. It's kind of like that white tissue that you see when you cut into a piece of chicken. I know that may sound a little gross to some people, but that's really what it is. That thin layer of white when you're cutting raw chicken, it holds everything together. That's your fascia. But here's the cool part. It's not just wrapping things up neatly, it's connecting them. It's like this intricate, God-designed fabric that not only keeps everything in place, but helps everything work together. It helps your muscles glide, it keeps your posture stable, and it even talks to your nervous system. That's pretty wild, isn't it? So you are literally knit together with this stuff. In Psalm 139:13, it says, "For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb." And now that I understand fascia a little bit more, I picture God doing just that, knitting this connective web throughout our whole body. We are fearfully and wonderfully made, and fascia is one of those parts that prove it. It's like this quiet background player that doesn't get much credit, but without it, our bodies would really be even more of a hot mess than they already are. Okay, so what does fascia actually do? And I'm really glad you asked. Fascia helps your body move smoothly and efficiently. It's like internal Teflon. It lets your muscles slide instead of stick. So every time you stretch, twist, reach, or walk, fascia is making that possible. And it also supports your posture. When it's healthy and hydrated, it holds your bones and muscles in good alignment. But when it gets stiff, stuck, or inflamed, that's when you start noticing weird tension, limited range of motion, or just feeling like your body's not moving like it used to. And this is huge. It's full of nerves. Like some research say, it has as many nerve endings as your skin, which means it's constantly sending signals to your brain about how you're feeling in your body. So if you've ever felt tight or achy or tender in one area and there was no injury there, fascia might be the reason. So once a month, I treat myself to a massage. I decided a couple years ago that this was going to be part of my personal health care plan. And I started about 3 years ago. And it was about the time that I started with this pain inside my right shoulder blade. And it was really difficult to get rid of. It didn't matter what I did. If I stretched, if I strengthened, if I had chiropractic treatments, or if I had massage, it just couldn't get rid of it. And in those sessions with my massage therapist, I learned a lot about fascia and its role in my overall health. And I believe that it's super, super important to know. So I'm going to share this with you. So what happens when fascia isn't healthy? It gets sticky. it dries out. It forms what they call adhesions, these little knots or glued spots where the layers stop gliding. And when that happens, it can cause chronic tension, nagging pain, fatigue, headaches, even postural issues, or joint stiffness. And here's the kicker. It doesn't always show up where the problem actually is, because fascia is one long connected system. So pain in your shoulder could be tied to tightness in your hip, or your foot pain could be coming from tension in your lower back. It is all connected. And this is why so many women go through stretches of life where everything just feels physically off. And we assume it's age or hormones and stress, and sometimes it is, but sometimes it's fascia. And it's not just physical. It can show up emotionally too. I don't know if you've ever had one of those moments where you're getting a massage or you're stretching and all of a sudden you just start tearing up and you're like, what even is that? Well, in my discussions with my massage therapist, I learned that our fascia actually has a lot to do with our emotions. And I don't find it coincidental at all that the timing that I had this knot in my shoulder, I was going through a very difficult spot in a close relationship. And personally, I feel like this is where all the emotions and unsettledness in this relationship settled, in my shoulder. You know how we talk about the body keeping the score? Well, your fascia is one of the places that score gets written. Fascia doesn't just respond to physical injury or posture, it reacts to emotional stress too. So when you go through something hard, like grief, fear, trauma, even long-term anxiety, your nervous system goes into protective mode. And it's because fascia is full of nerve endings, it actually tightens in response. So it's like your body is trying to armor up to keep you safe. And the problem is that if that emotion never gets processed, the tension doesn't go away. It just lives there. It settles in the shoulders, in the neck, in the hips. And over time, that tightness becomes your new normal. Now, some researchers now call fascia a sensory organ because it's that tuned into how you feel, not just physically, but emotionally. It's constantly listening for cues from your nervous system. If you're under chronic stress or emotionally shut down, your fascia can thicken or stiffen as a way to protect you. But it also means less movement, more pain, and just feeling stuck, not just in your body, but in your life. And that's why when people start releasing fascia through stretching, breath work, cupping, massage, sometimes tears come out of nowhere or old memories surface. It's not weird, it's healing. It's your body finally letting go of something it held on way too long. And honestly, this is what happened to that spot in my back. When I finally was in a safe place where I could process the emotions that I was going through in this particular relationship, and I was able to let go of some things, that spot stopped hurting. And it wasn't like a conscious thing. It was, and all of a sudden, one day I realized, hey, I don't have pain there anymore. And looking back, I realized when it started, when it ended, was when I took hold of that stress and emotional pain and when I decided to let it go. So here's the beautiful part. God made our bodies to respond to care. When we gently tend to the tension, we're actually partnering with the way He designed us, body, mind, and spirit, to heal. The pain in my right shoulder finally went away when I addressed the emotional issues I was having with a certain individual. This is why things like breath work and movement matter. They're not just about flexibility or fitness, they're invitations to healing. When we slow down and really listen to what our bodies are saying and what they're carrying, we can respond with compassion and let God help us release what we were never meant to hold forever. Sometimes when we're dealing with all this tension or fatigue or body discomfort, we don't stop to ask what's underneath it. We just try to push through. But the truth is, some of the physical things that we're feeling are being fueled by thoughts like, I can't slow down or everything will fall apart. I don't have time to take care of myself. I'm taking care of everybody else. And this must just be how my body's going to be from now on. And that's where mindset coaching becomes really helpful, because sometimes the shift happens not from doing more, but from thinking differently. When you start giving yourself permission to be cared for, to listen to your body, to slow down, to stretch, to breathe, to process, you start showing up from a place of peace, not pressure. And that shift can impact everything. Okay, friends, let's keep going. So we've talked about what fascia is, how it works, how it can not just carry physical strain, but emotional weight too. Now let's talk about what we can actually do about it, because here's some really good news. Fascia responds really beautifully to care, and most of the things that support it are gentle, doable, and don't require you to change your whole life, which, if I'm being honest, in this particular stage of my life, I don't need more to do. I need simple things to do that are going to make a big impact. And I believe that these things are simple to do, but will make a big impact. First, hydration is everything. Fascia needs water, not just for overall health, but to stay slippery, flexible, and able to move the way that it was designed to move. So when you're dehydrated, the fascia's texture can go from smooth and gliding to sticky and stuck. That's when those little knots or aches creep in. So one of the simplest things you can do is keep a water bottle nearby and sip it throughout the day. Don't chug it. Don't force yourself. Just gently give your body what it's been asking for. Number 2, movement. Movement keeps your fascia happy. Now, I'm not talking about going to the gym for an hour every day because I wouldn't do it. I'm talking about walking, stretching, dancing in the kitchen, standing up during your workday, rolling your shoulders, reaching overhead, moving in ways that just feel good. Fascia loves variety. So if you sit a lot, stand up and stretch. If you're always on your feet, take time to lay down and rest. Even 5 minutes of intentional movement can keep the fascia gliding smoothly and keep your body from locking up into tension patterns. Number 3, stretching. Stretching is your friend. Long, gentle stretches are some of the best things that you can do for your fascia. So if you're into yoga, you can think of things like child's pose and chest openers, but simple things like neck rolls, gentle forward folds. And if you do any kind of yoga or Pilates, you're probably already helping your fascia without even realizing it. And if you don't, that's okay. You can start small. 1 stretch in the morning, 1 at night. And that's all it takes to begin shifting things. The goal isn't to be flexible. The goal is to be free, to move without restriction, to feel less stuck, to breathe deeper in your own skin. And number 4, so there are some tools that you can use, like a foam roller or some warm compresses. Foam rolling is basically giving your fascia a deep tissue massage, and you don't need fancy equipment, just a basic roller or even a tennis ball. Roll slowly over the tight areas. Pause when it feels tender and breathe. Or try a warm compress on your shoulders or your lower back. Heat helps fascia soften and release. You can even do a little self-massage with lotion or oil after a shower, especially in the spots that tend to hold tension, like the neck, the jaw, or your hips. And hey, if you've ever seen those suction cup marks and wondered what cupping is all about, like, I don't know if you've ever seen someone who's had it done, but when you can see the whole back, like if they've had it on their back, it looks like an octopus got stuck on their back and cause some bruising. But here's the deal. Cupping therapy has been around for a very long time, but recent research is starting to show how it can actually help your fascia. So when those cups create that gentle suction, they lift and separate the layers of fascia and muscle that may have gotten stuck or dehydrated. And that pull helps the glide to come back between the tissues. It increases your circulation, which is going to help you remove toxins and inflammation in that area. And it even sends signals to your nervous system that it's okay to let go of tension. Some people combine cupping with movement, like lifting your arm or leg while the cup's in place, which helps stretch the fascia more naturally. Studies have shown this can improve flexibility, reduce pain, calm the stress that your body's been holding. And it's not magic, but it's one more way that you can support your fascia and healing, especially if you're someone who deals with tension, fatigue, or that always sore feeling. Anyone? I got both hands up here. It's kind of like giving your body permission to release what it's been carrying a little too long. And you can purchase kits of these suction cups at Amazon. They're really inexpensive, but also, don't ask me how I know this, but do not leave them on for more than 20 minutes. If you do longer than 20 minutes, and definitely don't go an hour or you will very much regret it. Okay, so I want you to understand that implementing things like this does not mean that you are being high maintenance, okay? You are being a good steward of the body that God has given you. Okay, number 5, posture. Your posture matters, but not in a stressful way. You don't need to be walking around like a ballerina, but awareness of how you're standing and how you're sitting helps. The way you sit, stand, and carry yourself can either help fascia stay balanced or train it into tight, twisted patterns. So give yourself little check-ins during the day. Are your shoulders creeping up towards your ears? Is your head tied down to the phone? Have you been sitting in the same position for 2 hours? A gentle reset, rolling your shoulders back, lifting your chest, unclenching your jaw can make a big difference over time. Number 6, breathe. Seriously, this might be the most underestimated fascia care tool of all. Deep, slow breathing expands the rib cage, stretches internal fascia, and signals to your nervous system you're safe. So try it with me now. If you can, close your eyes. If you're driving, please don't. Okay, ready? We're going to inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. I just want you to try it. Ready? Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I do yoga with a lady called Sarah Beth. So her show is Sarah Beth Yoga on YouTube. Highly recommend it. She's got so many options of what you can do there. And what I love about her is that when we do our breathing, she always says something afterwards. So we take a deep breath in, we take a deep breath out, relax your shoulders. Take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out, and relax your face. And I didn't realize before I started doing yoga that we hold a lot of tension just in our face. So the thought at first when you're like, relax your face, what? But when you do, you'll really feel the difference. So breathing is going to make your body feel different. And being aware of what you're relaxing while you're breathing is super helpful. This is why deep breathing shows up in everything from physical therapy to prayer, because when you breathe with intention, you're not just calming your mind, you're caring for your body structure too. So I couldn't be a good Christian mindset coach if I didn't pull this into some type of spiritual metaphor for a second. And it's not stretching. I just really want you to understand that everything in our world is connected. Our physical space with our emotional space and our spiritual space. In God's world, our spiritual aspect of life is no different than our physical. It's all tied together. So fascia holds every part of the body together. It wraps, connects, supports, and nourishes. And I can't help but think of Colossians 1:17, and it says, "He is before all things, and in him all things hold together." Christ is our spiritual fascia. He holds us together when life feels like it's falling apart. He connects the different parts of our lives, the joy, the grief, the calm, the chaos, and keeps it all bound in love. And just like fascia is quiet and behind the scenes, Jesus is often doing his most powerful work inside of us, in places that no one else sees. So when we care for our bodies in these quiet, gentle ways, stretching, breathing, hydrating, we're participating in the design God gave us. We're acknowledging that he didn't just make our souls and our spirits, he made our muscles, our bones, our tissues, and they are worthy of care. And I want to pause a moment and I want to be vulnerable with you. As a 52-year-old woman, I have been through the gamut of things to make your body healthy. And I am currently at a stage personally, this is my personal story. I don't know how long I'll be in this stage, where I'm looking for gentle, effective ways to make my body move easier so I can be more functional longer. And in my mind, I'm doing this so I can be productive for the Lord many more years. I'm not looking to lose 50 pounds in 30 days. I don't think that's even possible, nor do I really want to. Now, I may need to, but I don't want to. And for those of you out there who feel guilty about not doing all the hard work, I'm here to tell you that it's okay to be at a stage in life where if you don't want to do it, don't do it. And that is okay. We have to stop putting so much on ourselves and look at maybe doing less and how that will give us more peace. So as we close, a lot of us are used to just pushing through. We ignore the tension, we override the pain, we disconnect from our bodies because honestly, it just feels easier. But what if paying attention to these little signs, tight shoulders, stiff hips, constant fatigue, wasn't weakness, but wisdom? What if those sensations are invitations from God to pause, to care, to reconnect? Now, coaching is one of the ways that I help women do that, not just to manage their time better or think more clearly, but also to tune back into the whole person that God made them to be. Body, mind, and spirit. So if this resonated with you, know that support is available. You do not have to figure it out alone. Okay, your body is not a problem to solve. It is a masterpiece in progress. And fascia, it's one of the ways that God knit you together with intention, with purpose, and with beauty. So this week, I hope that you drink a little more water, but not all that you're supposed to have been drinking for the last 2 weeks. Stretch just a few minutes longer. Don't even get out of bed. Just stretch before you get out of bed. Breathe a little deeper. And most of all, remember that you are held together by design, held together by grace, held together by a God who never lets you go. So until next time, be kind to yourself and keep living in His purpose.